Welcome back to LexTalk, exploring English and linguistics in Thailand. We are back for Season 2, and you're just in time for Episode 6.
It's great to be here.
Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow and subscribe to LexTalk on all our platforms.
All of them.
Yeah, our website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and Spotify. And be sure to look for us at LexTalk Podcast.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's super relevant for every educator,
Oh, yeah.
parent, language enthusiast.
Absolutely.
We're talking learning styles and how
Yes.
understanding these learning styles
Yeah.
can unlock a student's true potential
Yeah.
in English. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's so exciting. For years, the education system kind of had this one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
But, we're delving deeper into cognitive science and educational psychology now.
Right.
And it's becoming so clear that, every student learns in their own way.
Yeah.
And recognizing those individual learning styles, it's a game changer.
I feel like it really is. I mean, haven't we all had that experience where you're like,
Oh, yeah.
I just can't grasp this,
Uh-huh.
but somebody else gets it right away?
Absolutely.
Is this maybe the missing piece?
Could be, yeah. It's not about intelligence. It's
Yeah.
about how our brains are, wired.
Right, yeah, how we process that information best.
Exactly. Some learners are visual, some are auditory, some need to be, hands-on, kinesthetic,
Yeah. So how do we figure out what our learning style is? How do we unlock that superpower?
Right.
And then how can teachers use this knowledge to create a dynamic classroom that reaches everyone?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, one way is the VARK model.
Okay.
VARK.
Oh, it is that.
Okay, so that stands for visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic learners.
So like a compass to
Exactly.
guide us down the right path.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. So let's break down each of these VARK learning styles and see how they play out in the world of English language learning. Okay.
Okay, so first up, visual learners. What are they all about?
So imagine a student who just lights up when they see a colorful chart or a diagram or an image.
Yeah.
They remember things better when they can see them. These are our visual learners,
Okay.
and they thrive on anything visual. So think mind maps with grammar rules all over them. Flashcards with images instead of just words.
Oh, clever.
Videos. Things that bring language to life.
Like painting a picture.
Exactly. Yeah, turning those abstract concepts
Right.
into something tangible.
Right, so a page full of text might be overwhelming for them.
Totally overwhelming.
But a diagram, it's
Perfect.
everything clicks.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Okay, so visual learners.
Yes,
Embrace the highlighters.
absolutely.
Embrace the colors.
Yeah, use those apps.
The mind maps.
Yes.
All those good image-rich resources.
That's it.
Now, what about our auditory learners? What are they all about? Well, if you've got a student who loves listening to podcasts or learning through songs or audiobooks or prefers to just talk through concepts,
Yeah.
you might have an auditory learner on your hands. They thrive on that spoken word,
Okay.
the rhythms, the intonation of language,
Yeah.
and they might even learn better by recording their notes and listening back to them
Wow.
than, traditional note-taking.
It's like their own little podcast.
Exactly, yeah.
I remember when I was learning, listening to English music and singing along, it really did help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Picking up vocab, the
Yeah.
rhythm, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, and, for educators, you can incorporate more discussions, audio recordings, even role-playing activities
Right.
to create that rich environment for those auditory learners.
I love that. Okay, so next up we have the reading, writing learners.
Yes.
I think I'm going to be in this category.
Yeah.
I love a good book. So what about these learners? What are their superpowers?
If you have a student who really gravitates towards written text, loves to take notes, detailed notes, and they're always highlighting passages in their textbooks,
Okay.
they might be a reading writing learner.
Got it.
They excel in the world of words.
So they're the masters of vocab,
Oh, yeah.
grammar guides.
Totally.
I bet they could write an amazing essay
Probably could.
on all the intricacies
Yes.
of the English language.
And for them, you want to provide a lot of opportunities for reading, writing, engaging with text-based materials.
Yeah.
Think book clubs, writing prompts, let them create their own dictionaries and grammar guides.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, we have the kinesthetic learners,
Yes.
the ones who learn best through movement and hands-on experiences. So what makes these learners unique?
Imagine a student who just like can't sit still
Oh, yeah.
during a lecture,
Right.
but then they come alive when they can participate in, like a role play,
Oh, interesting.
or use their hands to build something. These are our kinesthetic learners.
Okay.
They need to experience learning.
In a very physical way.
In a physical way, exactly.
So it's less about sitting and absorbing and more about actually doing something.
Moving, doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for them, traditional classrooms can be tough.
It can be tough.
But you can incorporate
activities
that involve movement.
Like role-playing.
Role-playing, yeah.
Using flashcards, but with actions. Games, hands-on projects.
Yeah, love that.
These are all good.
And it really kind of breaks down that sit still and listen kind of model.
Exactly.
It's about creating a dynamic, engaging environment where everyone can learn in their own way.
That's the goal.
But what if a student doesn't fit neatly into one of these categories?
That's a great question. And it leads us to a really important point.
Okay.
Most people are what we call multimodal learners.
What does that mean?
It means they use a combination of these styles.
Okay, so it's not about being in one box.
No.
It's about understanding your own blend.
Exactly.
Of those preferences.
Yeah, figuring out which ones are most dominant for you.
Okay, this is so insightful.
Yeah.
It's like we're all different puzzle pieces. And now we have the guide.
We do.
To see where we fit.
That's right.
In that grand puzzle of language learning.
It's exciting.
And the best part is, this understanding can transform not just the way students learn,
right,
but the way teachers teach.
It really can be transformative, yeah. Yeah, it's like when teachers understand all these learning styles and how they kind of play out in the classroom, they can create a classroom that is really inclusive and engaging for everyone.
I'm excited to dive deeper into that.
Okay.
Like, what are some practical things educators can do to make their classrooms more learning style friendly?
Sure.
Do they have to completely revamp their teaching?
It doesn't have to be like a total, overhaul or anything, but just kind of like a shift in perspective and a willingness to incorporate different teaching methods.
Right.
Awareness is the first step.
Okay.
Teachers can start by, just learning about these different learning styles.
Okay.
Observing their students to see what works for them.
Yeah.
There's even questionnaires and diagnostic tools.
Oh, wow.
That can help pinpoint individual learning preferences.
So it's like you're gathering intel on your students' learning superpowers.
Yes.
So you can tailor the lessons to that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so once the teacher has that information, what's next?
Well, then it's all about creating a balanced, learning environment that caters to the needs of all these different learners. Yeah. So, for example, instead of just lecturing all the time, a teacher might incorporate visual aids, like diagrams and charts to engage the visual learners.
Right.
You might include group discussions, role-playing activities for those auditory and kinesthetic learners, right?
Right.
Provide opportunities for written reflections and summaries for those who thrive on reading and writing.
So it's like a buffet.
It is. It's like a buffet.
Of learning experiences.
Exactly.
That appeals to different palates.
I love that. Yeah.
And when it comes to assignments and assessments, why not offer choices?
Yeah, exactly.
And how they demonstrate their understanding.
Right, because some students might shine when they're writing an essay.
Yeah.
While others might excel at creating a video presentation or even designing a visual infographic.
It's like, we see you.
Yes.
We value you.
We value your learning style.
And we want to give you the freedom to shine in a way that feels authentic to you.
Absolutely. It's about empowering those students to take ownership of their learning, give them the tools and resources.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we've been focusing a lot on the VARK model, but are there other learning style theories out there that educators should be aware of?
There are, VARK is definitely a great starting point.
Okay.
But there are other models out there that delve a little deeper into different aspects of learning.
Okay.
Some focus on, cognitive processes, like how do people, perceive information, organize it.
Yeah.
Others explore social and emotional factors that influence learning.
So it's really about recognizing that, learning is this complex, multifaceted process.
Absolutely.
And there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
No, there isn't.
And the more we understand how people learn, the better we are at creating those effective and engaging learning experiences
Exactly.
for our students.
Yeah.
This is fascinating stuff.
It is.
But I can't help but think about the challenges that teachers face.
Yeah.
Especially in like mixed ability classrooms where students are at different levels of English proficiency.
Right.
How do you cater to all those needs,
All right.
ensure that no one's getting left behind?
Well, that's where differentiated instruction comes in.
Okay, what is that?
So differentiated instruction is basically an approach to teaching that involves tailoring the lessons and activities to meet the individual needs of the students, regardless of their skill level.
So it's kind of like personalized learning?
It is. It's like personalized learning.
But on a classroom scale.
On a classroom scale, exactly.
Wow.
It's about providing like multiple pathways to learning so that every student can progress at their own pace and reach their full potential. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels challenged and supported.
I like that.
Yeah.
Are there any like specific strategies that teachers can use to implement differentiated instruction effectively?
Absolutely. One common one is flexible grouping.
What's that?
So that's where you group students together based on their learning needs or interests rather than just their, proficiency level. Teachers might also use tiered activities where students are working on the same core concept but at different levels of complexity.
Okay, so it allows them to work at a pace.
Yes.
That's challenging but not overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah, what about students who might need like extra support?
Sure.
Are there any strategies for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's where peer tutoring can be really, really valuable.
Oh, okay.
Pairing students with different strengths and abilities can create that supportive environment where everyone benefits.
So the student giving the support is also reinforcing...
They're reinforcing their own understanding.
And then student receiving gets that individual attention. It's like you're creating this mini learning community within the classroom where everyone's contributing and supporting each other.
And that sense of community is so important, especially for language learners. When they feel comfortable taking risks, asking questions, supporting each other, their confidence grows and they're more likely to embrace the whole process. It creates that positive dynamic learning environment for everybody.
I'm really starting to see how understanding learning styles and embracing this differentiated instruction can transform that entire classroom experience.
It really can.
It's not just about, improving academic outcomes, but it's about creating a more inclusive and supportive learning environment.
Absolutely.
Where every student feels
seen,
valued,
and empowered.
Empowered to learn, yes.
This has been such an enlightening discussion.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic. But before we dive into even more practical strategies and resources, I want to take a moment to acknowledge, all the incredible dedication and passion of all the language educators out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Working tirelessly to create these inclusive and engaging learning environments.
Yeah, teachers are true champions of learning, and their dedication to their students is inspiring.
It is.
It really is.
And to all the language learners out there, remember that your learning journey is your own.
That's right.
Embrace your strengths, explore different approaches. And don't be afraid to ask for support.
Yeah, ask for help when you need it.
Absolutely. And most importantly, never lose sight of the joy of learning.
Yes.
Discovering a new language.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Full of possibilities.
It opens doors.
Yes, it does.
It expands horizons. And it connects us with people from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful thing. And it is full of possibilities. But, I think sometimes we get so caught up in the challenges that we forget to enjoy that journey.
It's true.
So I kind of want to shift gears for a bit and talk about motivation.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like that's something a lot of language learners struggle with.
It's a big one.
It can be. Such a roller coaster.
It really can.
Up and down.
One day you're excited. Next day, oh.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, so why is that?
Right.
Why do we experience those kicks and valleys?
Right.
And more importantly, what can we do to stay motivated, especially when things get tough?
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a mix of things,
Right.
Sometimes life just gets in the way, you know?
Yeah.
You get busy with work, family commitments.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just feeling burned out.
Yeah. Other times it's, those inner voices of self-doubt that creep in.
Yeah, those inner critics can be brutal.
Oh, they can be the worst.
Yeah.
Especially when you hit a plateau in your learning or you get discouraged by mistakes.
So how do we silence those negative voices and rekindle that fire?
Right.
What advice would you give
Yeah.
to language learners who are like feeling stuck?
Well, I think one of the best strategies is to set realistic goals.
Okay.
So instead of aiming for fluency overnight,
Right, which is impossible.
which can feel overwhelming,
Yeah.
break it down into smaller, more achievable steps.
So like instead of saying I want to be fluent in English,
Right.
I could say I want to learn 10 new words this week.
Yeah.
Or I want to be able to, order a coffee confidently in English.
Exactly. Those smaller goals feel a lot more attainable.
Right.
And they give you that sense of accomplishment along the way.
Yeah, it's like leveling up in a video game.
That's a great analogy.
Each little victory keeps you motivated and keeps you engaged.
Yeah, it's like gamifying your learning.
Yeah, love that.
Turning it into a series of challenges.
Okay, so what other strategies can help us stay motivated?
Well, I think it's also really important to make learning fun,
Yeah.
If you dread studying,
Yeah.
it's no wonder you're not motivated.
Right.
But if you can find activities that you genuinely enjoy,
Yeah.
whether it's watching movies or listening to music or chatting with friends in English,
Yeah.
it becomes a pleasure
Right.
rather than a chore.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where your passion and learning
Intersect.
come together.
Yeah, and reminding yourself that it shouldn't be a punishment.
Yeah.
It should be enjoyable.
Right. Right.
Don't be afraid to experiment, try new things.
Yeah.
If one approach isn't working, switch it up.
Yeah.
There are so many different paths to success.
Okay.
You just got to find what resonates with you.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about embracing that kind of exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remembering that learning a language is a journey, not a race.
It's a journey.
And sometimes you just got to slow down.
Right.
Adjust your course.
Yeah, and remember that mistakes are part of the process.
Yes.
It's not about being perfect.
It's about progress.
It's about progress.
Right. I think we get so caught up
You do.
in striving for that perfection that we forget to celebrate how far we've come.
Well, small wins.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Whether it's a teacher, a tutor, a language partner, an online community.
Yeah.
Having that support system can make a world of difference.
It's like your language learning cheer squad.
Exactly.
Cheering you on.
You're not alone.
You got this.
And you can do it.
Yeah.
And speaking of support systems, I think it's so amazing that we live in an age where technology can connect us.
It's amazing with people from all over the world.
Absolutely. For language learning. Language exchange apps, online communities.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
How many opportunities?
Yeah. And don't underestimate the power of immersion.
No, yeah.
Even if you can't travel to an English-speaking country.
Right.
You can create that immersion.
At home.
Right at home.
Yeah.
Watch movies.
TV shows.
Listen to podcasts.
Surround yourself.
Surround yourself with English.
It's like your little English-speaking world.
It is, right in your living room.
This has been such an inspiring conversation.
It has.
I feel like we've covered so much today.
We have.
From understanding learning styles to creating those engaging classrooms.
Right.
Staying motivated on our language adventures.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights.
Yeah, and thank you.
With you and our listeners.
To all of our wonderful listeners out there.
Yes.
For joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you found it helpful.
Into language learning strategies. Yeah. And don't forget to follow LexTalk.
On all our platforms.
Their website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
That's right.
And look for us at
LexTalk Podcast.
LexTalk Podcast. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Share your thoughts, your questions.
Your learning style discoveries.
In the comments below.
Yeah, keep the conversation going.
Let's talk, let's learn, let's LexTalk.